Alright, what's up, fam? Welcome to the Memory Slot A podcast, where we talk about games, news,
Games?
about games, and all
video games.
all of the video games.
games?
I am Chris, here with Marc with a C,
Hello there.
aka Lefty, and then Marc with a K.
Oh,
His nickname
AKA
is,
no short name yet.
his
name
nickname
to
is
be
pending.
determined.
It's pending.
TBD. Mark with the K, TBD.
We'll
Listen,
tell you after
the-
the nicknaming convention.
Oh, damn you! Stole my
knew it.
thunder,
Beautiful.
man. You stole my thunder.
And then we got Rob, aka Cookie.
Wonderful. I'm glad that name has not left the naming convention and not
This
stayed
makes-
in that
Oh
naming
no, it has
convention.
left the naming convention, and it's
Yeah,
here to
it's sticking
stay.
around. Yeah.
Makes me very, very
Wonderful.
happy. And Rob was telling us that you're
Oh,
not
yeah,
the only
right.
person that calls you Cookie anymore. Yes.
Well, no, unfortunately not. Because, well, yeah, of course, we do happen to have at least one listener. I did recommend this podcast. Look, it's a work. One new listener is still one more than we had yesterday. But I did recommend it to a fellow coworker. And
That's
in case you are watching the cyclone
This-
again
This is what
today,
happens when
while
you
you're listening to
grind,
this,
boys.
hi,
get
and I
one
hope the
fan.
cyclone hasn't broken down on you. So
Cyclone.
So
Yeah,
if you're
sure.
listening to this podcast 3 years from now when we're huge, make sure you @ Rob on Twitter as Cookie.
Yes.
Oh God,
Yes.
please, anything but that.
Talking about Twitter, we are on Twitter, so check us out there. We also have recently just got onto Spotify and Apple Music. So
Ooh, big time.
yeah,
Big
if you're
time.
listening to this from anything else but that, because we're also on YouTube
And Spotify and
SoundCloud
SoundCloud.
and all those
SoundCloud,
things.
yeah.
Apple Music.
Apple Music, yeah, we're
Mhm.
everywhere. So
All
take a
over the
look.
world.
Give us a listen if you're not already listening, and that doesn't make any sense because you're listening right now. So fuck me. Anyway, I think Rob has some thanks to give out. So Rob, take it away, buddy.
Well, this is just me, and it's on behalf of all of us here at Memory Slot A. I'd like to thank the artist that made the profile photos that we have on our SoundCloud, our Twitter, our YouTube,
Spotify.
and everywhere else. Basically, he's a friend of Marc with a C, right? What's her name?
Shout out to D, my friend from college, for making our awesome artwork.
Where
Thanks,
can you
Steve.
find her?
On Instagram, her handle is Anime Boy, but it's anime with a 4 instead of an A.
Forname boy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
Cool. And is it
Mm.
boy BOY or is it BOI?
It's BOY with a Y.
Lit with the Y.
Beautiful.
Cool.
And then in
Good
the
shit.
spirit of giving thanks, why don't we also thank our resident co-host Chris, who actually made both the intro and outro tracks to this
Aw,
lovely podcast.
Thanks, guys.
Nice.
Thanks.
It's a
Every-
wonderful opening song.
Every
too.
every
I love it.
time it comes on, man, I get all kinds of feels inside.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's beautiful stuff, man. Good
Thanks.
shit.
I appreciate it. I'm gonna come up with some new music for this shit too. Not for the beginnings, but for some other times. I'll give them to Rob. He'll use them at some time. Yeah.
But-
So thanks for joining us. We got some stuff to talk about this week, and Rob, why don't you take it away with the first one as well?
I mean, in the spirit of thanks, this is our post-Thanksgiving podcast here. So Black Friday and Cyber Monday have come and gone, and certain people have bought new video games, with the exception of myself, although I should probably buy Tetris Effect at some point, at least of the games I can talk about. But I do know that Marc with a C has certainly bought quite a lot of things, yeah?
Yeah, I balled out a little bit. I bought 3 games. From last episode, I mentioned Monster Hunter World and Dragon Quest XI. I picked both of those up.
Yes.
Cool.
So I got physical copies. So I haven't received them yet. But the other game that I just kind of got on a whim, and it's weird. I'm not even really sure what compelled me to buy this. I guess maybe it was just the fact that it was $30. Was Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed game since I don't know, one of. You guys remember the 360, the Assassin's Creed 2, the
Mhm.
one set in Italy had a couple of different spin-off games. I think the last one I played was one of those.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was wondering about that. I saw you bring it up there, and I was like, I didn't realize that you were into Assassin's Creed. And I
that's
saw
the
that, and I'm
thing.
like, huh.
That's the thing. I'm not really into it at all, but I heard that this one was pretty cool, and I like the setting, like ancient Greece. And I know that they took, at least from this one and the one before it, it's like more RPG-ish than the previous games. So I don't know. It was like, whatever. It's Black Friday. I'll give it a shot.
Hey, for give it a shot for $30. It's not a bad thought.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
I was thinking about buying it because I did play a little bit of the one before that. Does anyone remember? Because Odyssey is the newest one, and before that,
it's not
Oh,
Black
sorry.
Flag, right?
Sorry.
what a joke.
Sorry, it wasn't meant to be one.
What was it? What was the name of the game before it?
Not Black Flag, was it?
No,
Origins.
Origins. Yes, Origins.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Origins, and I did really enjoy. Like I got Assassin's Creed 1 by accident because on Christmas, I forget what year it was. I said to my mom, "I want a PlayStation 3. I don't give a shit if it's used. I just want one so I can play games." And she was like, "Fine, whatever." So she got me a used one from GameStop, but you know how people fuck over GameStop. So the guy who actually brought in that PlayStation brought it in with a disk drive that didn't work, and GameStop didn't
Sounds
test
oddly
it to see if it
familiar.
worked. Yeah,
Oh
exactly.
my god.
That sounds like good quality control there. Way to go, GameStop. No wonder you're going out of business.
Yeah, exactly.
That is such trash.
So, but here's the thing though, right? I got the actual system to my house, and I was trying to put in one of the Call of Duty discs, and it wouldn't take my disc, and I didn't know why. So I hit eject just to see like what's going on here, and out popped an Assassin's Creed disc. So I brought the PlayStation back to GameStop minus the Assassin's Creed disc, and then got a new PlayStation, and then put the Assassin's Creed disc in and played it, and I hated it. I fucking hated it. But long segue, but I did pick up Origins, and Origins was really good for those exact reasons. A lot more RPG mechanics. It's very different than the other Assassin's Creed games, which I think is a step in the right direction. And this one's supposed to be even better. So
Yeah.
I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. I'll report back once this shows up. I'm actually really hyped to play one of these, just because you know they're like super big budget. They look very pretty. Like I don't know. I'm ready for a game like that right now. But I'm waiting for those to show up. So in the meantime, I've still been playing Yakuza Kiwami, and man, every time I play more of that game, I just fall in love with it. It's just this like super serious like Japanese mob story, but there's so much stuff surrounding it that's just absolutely hilarious. There's all the, so there's like the main story, and all they call them sub stories, basically just side quests, and they're all just the most like wacky, like kind of complete tone shift away from like the serious, like very like mob story. I don't know. It's just been
It allows
really
you to
fun.
enjoy your setting, right? That way you don't, outside of the main story, you get to enjoy everything the setting has to provide for you. So obviously this is Japan, right? My mind is blanking as to where exactly in Japan this takes place.
Kamurocho. I think that's what it's called. That's the is that even I'm not even sure if that's fictional or not, that city, but that's where the game takes place.
Right.
Nice.
This isn't the one that let you do karaoke, right? I'm probably thinking of Yakuza 4.
So
'Cause I know Ken told me a lot about
probably
that.
not. I know there's like so there is a lot of stuff that you can do just around the city. Like you can go to restaurants and eat, and you can go to convenience stores, and there's like a lot. You can go to like cabaret clubs, and it's actually really awkward because this is a like I guess like a remaster of a PS3 game. So you go to like a cabaret club, like similar, you know how you go in like GTA 3 or whatever to a strip club, and it's just like this ugly, like polygonal, weird, like bikini model dancing,
pointy tits.
like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the shit that I do like. Yeah, no,
That's the shit I do like.
No, meaning just it's like, you know how like the main character is very high res and like looks good, and then all of the
The surroundings are
everything
just
around it.
faces just look like flat and have no detail on them. It's like you go into one of these cabaret clubs and you just sit and it just lets you watch someone do like a pole dance basically, but it's like one of these very low res like looking
like a Vice City pole dance.
It's amazing that they let you do it, and there's also like a bunch of them that you can go into throughout the city. It's like they took a lot of time making sure you could like make your choice of which like bikini model you want to see like pole dance.
Oh, wow. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it's
Video
like
games
stuff
these
like
days,
that.
right?
What'd you say?
Video games these days, am I right?
Yeah. I know. Well, listen, from the little that I do know, I have a lot more of that in store for me if I continue to play the series. So I'm sure you already know that I'm hyped for that.
Word. Please do update us on the polygonal tits as well as.
Yes, please.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know if they get any rounder as time goes on. All right.
Yeah.
It's like
So,
a
speaking
Wednesday
of round,
afternoon.
how's this for a segue? Speaking of round, Mark, you're playing Hitman 2.
Oh,
That bald-headed round
yeah.
Agent 47.
Bald. Cue ball. That's round.
Oh my gosh.
Man.
Nice.
Mark with the C is king of the segues. But
That was good though.
I am. I actually, let me see. I bought it, I don't know, a few months ago. I pre-ordered it when there was like a price error somewhere. I got it, I think, for $20, which
Awesome.
honestly is probably the only reason I had bought it at the time, because I never played Hitman 1. But on a whim, I decided, you know what? I have it. Let me boot it up real quick. And immediately I was like, this is my kind of game. So like, I just love that you can sneak around and, you know, find all this shit on all these maps. The maps are huge, for one, and you can disguise yourself as anyone. But it's created so many like funny moments. Like it does. There's like really weird banter in respect of personal space all the time.
What?
So it creates weird moments where you could be playing as Agent 47, disguised as someone who's having a meeting with your target on the level, and you'll be walking alongside your target having a conversation. He'll just stop and he'll be like, "You're standing very close to me right now. Don't you know anything about personal space? Have you ever heard of it?" And it like, they break character real quick, and then they just keep walking, and they can continue with what they were doing, and it's berserk.
And
but
like that's a consistent thing that happens.
all the time. Not even with just like your target. You could just be walking, and you'll walk past a random person on the map, and they'll be like, "You're kind of freaking me out right now. Could you move back a little bit?" Which, you know, I guess makes sense. Maybe they're catching on to the fact you're a hitman, but probably not. But like,
Maybe they just want some
Too
space,
sensitive.
Mark.
it's insane.
You gotta respect their space.
And I love every minute of it, because Agent 47, it turns out, is quite the comedian. And
Is that so?
there's a couple of times where you're like you're selling a house, right? You disguise yourself
but he can't talk, right?
as a real estate agent, and you're selling a house to this guy, and Agent 47's a hitman. In case nobody was following up to this point, he's a hitman. He doesn't know how to sell houses, but he's very good at becoming the person that he killed to take their clothes. So he tries to sell you a house, and he talks about the living room. This is a living room. American families typically spend it sitting on couches and watching TV.
God.
Or this is the kitchen. It's often referred to as the most dangerous place in the house. And
Or
it's
the
like,
kitchen.
he sneaks in a little like, "I'm a hitman, and I'm going to talk about the danger of this room." But that being said, I love it, and I ended up buying the Hitman 1 DLC because that
Nice.
shit ports over
Nice.
And that was part of my Black Friday scoops, along with God of War on PS4 because it was $17.
Nice.
And think that was it.
Nice.
And Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Special Edition.
Nice.
All right. Have you started?
You're starting to have second thoughts about that deal of ours. Aren't we?
I have started it, Mark. I didn't get far yet, but I'm excited to play more of it. And Rob, the jury is still out on whether or not I've changed my mind on the.
Don't worry about it. Hey man, take your time. We'll come back to this and we'll reconvene on this subject. Don't worry. It's okay.
Nice.
I don't blame you. If you love the game, that makes me happy too.
Well, that's very chivalrous of you.
Indeed. What about you, Chris? You grab anything interesting for Black Friday?
Yeah, did I grab something interesting? That's a great question.
Notice it's interesting.
Yeah, last week I said, I'm probably going to pick up God of War and Spider-Man and stuff like that. I'm an asshole, and I didn't buy either of those things. What I decided to do was buy a game that I needed to play just for my own,
sanity
sake of knowing. You know what I mean? It's like when you
know.
It's like when you break up with someone and then you got to go back and talk to them for that one last time before you leave them for good. This is what this day felt like for me. Because I couldn't leave it alone. I needed to try. So I bought it for $30. I downloaded the patch, which took a while because it's the same size as the game. And then after I did that, I played for about 4 hours and honestly had a lot of fun for the first 4 hours of the game. Creating your character is cool. I love the Bethesda way of creating your character. I got hit with all the nostalgia from Fallout 4 and Fallout 3, New Vegas and all that stuff.
Do you know your special points?
Yep, doing all my special points. Well, the game actually starts you off with nothing, and then you have to just put your own. You don't get to create your character like that in the beginning, but I'm talking about aesthetically and that kind of stuff. And so then I jumped into the world, didn't find any big game-breaking glitches. I saw that the AI was a little bit silly, but that's usually what happens in Bethesda games. They don't really work very well, but it's kind of charming in a way. The mechanics are still wonky, same as a Bethesda game. Still
so this is around the first time that you checked in with us, right? Because I remember at one point you checked in and you were you were really enjoying this game. I thought you had done a complete 180. Yeah.
This is how I felt after playing it for about 6 hours. It still felt like a Fallout world, which I love that. I love that entire world. I love all the lore, so I was happy. And then I got off the next morning. Instead of putting in 76, I put in Red Dead because I was so close to the end and I really wanted to finish it. And that's when I realized that Fallout 76 is a piece of absolute shit. It's fucking garbage.
Wow.
Fucking trash.
You just wanted to love it so bad, but then as soon as you stop, that's when you realized.
Well, the way I see it is Fallout 76 is good if you take it as the only game in a vacuum.
Yeah, essentially. Fallout 76 is good if you like shitty things. That's really what it is. And as a Bethesda fan, I have just been accustomed to games not feeling as good as other games, but having the charm, being okay with it because of the decisions you can make and the characters you meet and just what the actual lore in the world give you. Now it's just shit, man. I don't know. I'll give you the reasons why. There's no characters that you care about. You don't even care about your own character. There's no reason to care about it.
And there are no other humans, right? Yeah.
There's no other humans. The previous games, you always had choice. You always could treat people with respect, or you could treat them like assholes. And you can't do that. And they took away, obviously, the voiced NPC. I mean, the voiced protagonist, because there is no fucking protagonist. So it's you don't care about you. So it's not fun. Gameplay mechanics suck. Physics suck. inexcusable for 2018. Like,
I mean,
after
that-
playing a game like Red Dead and like even fucking Spyro, man, which was made in goddamn like 1997. Like,
But I mean, that's par for the course for Fallout's engine, though, is it not? I mean, you brought it up before. That's just how the engine is it not?
it's all just inexcusable. It's all inexcusable. Survival editions suck. The building mechanics are so bare. You used to be able to build giant goddamn bases. Now you can, like, the modders put so much good stuff in the game, and this game takes literally all of it out. They didn't even add that stuff. It's barren. You can build like wood walls and some concrete walls and a floor and a roof. That's literally it. The problem with this,
go into VATS for a second, just because I know that that was a big bad change that they made.
VATS is real-time VATS. So you can go into VATS, but you just track the enemy in real time, and like it works essentially the same. It's just the game doesn't slow down, and you can level it up so different things happen. You can see like vital organs, or you can target certain parts of the body and stuff like that. VATS is not my problem with this game at all. There are a lot of problems with this game. Some that can be remedied and some that are not. Now, I'm sorry this is taking so long, but I have a lot to say.
You're very passionate. No, man.
I'm very passionate. So Bethesda released a roadmap today of what they're actually going to do for the future and like to fix this game. And I'll give you a brief overview of what they're saying. It's the first time they've said anything since the game released, and it's been getting just destroyed by everyone. On December 4th, first of all, they go into this whole, like, we're sorry, like, we're taking your feedback and, like, really going to make it the best game ever and support it for years to come, whatever. Just damage control. Yeah, damage control. Then they outline their next patch updates. December 4th is the first one, pretty close. The stash limit's going to be increased, which a lot of people are happy about. It's too small. Everyone runs out of room really quickly. Boss loot. Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say that sounds just like the vault space in Destiny 2 that they've been begging for an increase in, but they haven't gotten that yet either, if I recall correctly. Sorry, continue.
No, they're doing one thing right. Right, go ahead. I know. Go ahead.
So like bosses are gonna drop the right loot. There's a gun called the Cryolator. They fix the effect so it doesn't make you frozen for 2 hours. That's hilarious. You can respawn if you're over encumbered. I don't know how nobody fucking caught that at the goddamn testing of the game. You had to be over encumbered at some point and you had to die. So whatever, but they're fixing it and you'll no longer get stuck in power armor. Fine. All helpful additions to the game. On December 11th, PC is getting push to talk, which is great for PC.
It's kind of one of those things you kind of need. I'm surprised it wasn't in there. Okay.
Exactly, but they're getting it.
When they don't expect you to run into the people on a gigantic map, you don't really need push to talk now, do you?
I guess so. But that's, sure. Great. They're getting 21:9 resolution support, which should have been there, but fine. And the field of view settings are all being implemented on PC, so you'll actually be able to change your field of view without having to switch the code. Cool.
And they're not going to break the game. Okay.
Yeah, and then just quickly, you'll be able to respec your character, which you can't right now. Your camp placement, which is like your home placement, will be changed, and they're getting this new thing called Bulldozer, where you can knock down trees. Last thing I'm saying about Fallout 76 is, and I just don't want to go on forever because I will. These changes, for me, will not make the game fun. They'll make it more stable, but they won't change the fact that it's still a survival game. It's still not Fallout. The mechanics are terrible, and there's no NPCs, and those things are things that you can't change without changing the whole game. So
I have a question.
Yeah.
So I know it would be hard to do without NPCs, but is there literally any objective about this game? Or are you just roaming a wasteland?
Is there lore? Is there any good lore? I guess.
I don't imagine there's really like a story per se, because you can't tell a story without like the NPCs.
That's the thing. You would think that you can't, and they shouldn't have tried, but they did try. They have holotapes around the world, which is just like fucking tapes you pick up and listen to, and they have like people talking about things that had happened to them, or you'll find notes all over the place. But I don't come to Fallout to fucking read like 7-minute to read pages worth of notes just to find out the lore. Like, no, I'm trying to interact with people. Like, listen, man, it doesn't work.
Yeah, something else I heard was that I think there's a lot of audio tapes, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what I'm talking about with the holo tapes. Yeah,
you can't like pause them.
No,
you want to take a bit.
You can't even
want to
pause
do
them?
something else.
No,
yeah. So
you have to re-listen to the whole thing.
Oh my
stupid.
god,
that is so stupid,
isn't it?
Sorry, I don't even play that, and I can tell it's stupid. Go
it's
ahead.
so dumb.
that sounds like I would probably break that game in half.
Yeah, and also they changed nothing with the menus. But the thing is with the menus, when you pull up a menu in Fallout, you literally pull your Pip-Boy up and you put it in front of the entire screen. So if you're getting shot at by people, or if you're getting attacked, you can't do anything about it, and you can't switch your weapons. And there's no good hotkey system. You can put like a gun to one of your directional buttons. So if that gun breaks, which they decided was a great thing to put in this game too, since it's survival and all, you are fucked. You can't do anything about it except punch them. And that is not useful at all. So they can change that. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I was hopeful about it before. Don't buy it. Just don't buy it. I'm
curious about one other thing though. I think I heard somewhere that when you log out, whatever fort you built goes away. Does that still happen?
When you log out, whatever fort you built, it goes away, but they store it in like a little camp box unless you built it at one of these what they call like workshops that you have to claim, and then you can build up and defend it to get XP, and then if you leave the lobby, all that shit goes away and you can never get it back. So
that is thought.
Have you run into other like real players besides
a lot of
whoever you played it with?
I have.
A lot of online reviews complain about them. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, it's funny. I mean, I only played it for like 6 hours and I hated it so much I didn't want to go back. But when I did run into people, the dudes I actually met were really, really nice and really awesome.
Because they know you're all in it together.
Exactly. They're probably like,
I
feel you, man. I'm not gonna grief you.
Let's just make this the best experience for everyone.
Yeah, the dudes that I met literally like invited me to that group, and we were building stuff together and questing together. So like it's cool to play as a group, but it's still shit. So don't do it.
It sounds like a group counseling session.
Well, it's a good thing you got it on sale.
Yeah. And last thing about 76, which like is just the icing on the motherfucking cake. Literally 10 minutes before we started this podcast, I saw tweets going out that Bethesda Game Studios, when they originally told people about the collector's edition of the game, said that it came with a canvas bag. And that's cool. Like canvas bags are dope, really durable. I guess they found out that was too expensive and that was a quote unquote prototype, even though it was marketed as a canvas bag. And they are now giving people like synthetic, like jogging short material pants. I mean, jogging short material bags. So fuck them. I'm done.
Yeah,
wow.
I saw that show up on Polygon. It's a fucking nylon bag. This is so
ridiculous?
Sad.
Oh my god!
This is so sad.
Just dig your grave as deep as you want it to go. But
so now here's one last final question about Fallout.
$200 for this. Go ahead.
With that being said, and that a $200 edition of a game is not living up to the expectations of what it was, are they going to refund people? Because as we found out earlier today, they're already having a hard time getting refunds for games that were bought through the official store, right?
That's a good sign.
But we're gonna go down that road because I'm going down that road.
You know what? We don't have to go. Let's not. You know what? Let's not do that. But the last thing I'll say is, how can they think that that's too expensive when Call of Duty has put out ludicrous collector's edition bundles that have had fucking remote cars and drones in them?
That's true.
And I'm kind of jealous of everyone that has those because they're probably pretty cool.
It's better than a nylon bag.
100%. I mean, you don't only get a nylon bag; you get a fucking helmet. of power armor, which is cool. But they're not going to refund people, and it's really shady that they launched Bethesda.net, which is their provider. It's where you can only get the game is Bethesda.net, and Steam and what's the other big workshop on PC
Origin.
to get game?
Yeah,
Steam and
Origin,
Origins
yeah.
both have refund policies, and Bethesda.net does not. And this is the first game going on it, and it's the one that everyone would wanted a refund on, and that's the only thing
Yep.
I'm saying. Moving on.
Wow.
Yep.
Fool me once.
Yeah. So I'm not having a good time with that, but me and Mark were having a good time the other night on Fortnite. You want to know?
That's a
Oh,
game.
yeah?
I think people know that game, right?
Yeah, I think.
Oh,
it's,
Fortnite? Fortnite? Oh, yeah. I think I know that game.
It's game of the year.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that later. Wink. But Chris, myself, and a friend of ours hopped on Fortnite. I think it was Friday night, and we jumped into a squads lobby and started out, like a normal lobby. Landed at Risky Reels, favorite zone. And we beat 2 teams right off the bat. No big deal. We start running towards the circle, and
oh, you're forgetting a whole part, dude. We didn't just start. Yeah, you remember what we were doing after we killed those teams at Risky Reels?
A memory gap there?
Do you remember?
We were trying to get hang time with the quad crasher. Because one of the challenges is to get 30 seconds. So we were over in like Wailing Woods, bouncing around on the corrupted zone and just fucking getting all kinds of airtime. So
launching ourselves for like 5 to 6 minutes. We were just launching ourselves straight up in the air with no care in the world.
Yeah, and it was like, okay, this is weird. We haven't run into anyone in a while. We run into a second team, and we clean them up real quick. No big deal. We start heading for the circle now. So we're running, and we're running because this game is running Simulator 3000.
Yeah.
Run a little more. Finally catch up to some people. Okay, let's start attacking them. They get away. We get up on top of the tunnel by Tomato Temple, and our third man goes, "Guys, do you see all this shit that's going on right now?" I'm 90% sure we ended up in a scrim lobby. Oh boy.
Was it the structures? I mean, were they really that horrific?
Can you explain what is a scrim lobby? Because when you said it first, I had no idea what you're talking about.
So for what people who don't know what a scrim lobby is, it's for the people who think they're pro at the game or are pro at the game. They all jump in, attempt to jump in. So like that's the thing. It's hard to set these up because it's really all based on chance. But you join the game at the same time and hopefully get thrown together in the same lobby, which for some reason this was one of the most intense lobbies we've ever been in. And yeah, it's like supposed to be practice to be similar to what you would expect from like a big Fortnite tournament.
Yeah.
So we're on top of the tunnel, and there's just massive structures. And it's not like we've all seen massive structures in the game before, but these were like well thought out and like very clean looking structures. So it was obvious that people were like
actually thinking about how they wanted to build.
Yeah, like sitting for a little bit to relax, wait for people to come to them. And so I was like, there's no way. Us in a scrim lobby? Nah, not at all.
I mean, I would think that way too.
So then we start getting lasered from every which way. So let me just paint the picture a little bit better. We're on top of the tunnel. To our right, it's Tomato Temple. There's 2 teams in Tomato Temple. There's 2 teams also on top of the tunnel, straight ahead of us. And then there's another team directly to our left. And somehow all 6 of these teams decided to end up in the same spot at the same time. And it's not like the circle was really small yet. Like it shrunk a lot more while we were at the tunnel than anything. And then I'm oh god, because
when we got to that point, or right before we got to that battle, I looked over because I'm playing a video game. I didn't look over at him. But I said to you guys, I was like, yo, do you see how small this circle is? And there's 47 people left. How is that possible? And then Jesse was like, oh shit, maybe it's a scrim lobby. It turns out it 100% fucking was, because we get up there and these dudes are good. Like really goddamn good.
Like lasering from everywhere. And we're fucking surrounded. So then we decide to back off a little bit
and just wait.
Just let them take each other out.
Squirm around a little bit. Let the herd thin themselves out. So eventually it's coming down to the very end. So it's like the circle is just about to move to its last location. Everyone is on top of the tunnel or in the house right next to Tomato Temple. The circle starts moving. Chris gets downed. Jesse is in a fight. Jesse is the third person we were playing with. And I accidentally blocked him in. So he
we must have really appreciated that.
He's like, damn it, Mark, you killed me. I'm like, how the fuck? I was like, how did I kill you? Please.
You also killed me, bro. Like,
well,
I hit your wall as well.
Okay, so I killed the two of them, apparently. So now it's getting really, really panicky. There's 5 people left, and I'm moving into the circle. 2 more people go down, and now I think it was like a 1-on-2 or something like that.
Yeah.
And I'm freaking the fuck out. This guy's trying to jump on top of me. I'm building. And then I down the first guy. He comes right up into my face and I blast him with the shotgun. And I was like, oh my God, I still can't do this. I killed this guy, but I can't do this. I have 20 health left.
He's one shot. Me and Jesse are literally jumping off our fucking couch. We're like, holy shit. Because at this point, there are 37 people watching Marc play.
Holy shit.
I look down.
This has never... Yeah. So like this is the point where you realize like, oh, we actually were in a scrim lobby. I've never had more than either my teammates or more than the person I killed spectating me at once. Literally has never happened before. And now there's 37 people spectating me. I'm like, this is weird. So I down that guy. I walk into the house and I see the sliver of this guy's arm through the doorway. And I take one panic shot and the guy fucking dies. And
you won
heroic.
You won it?
Berserk.
Yeah, we won the fucking game.
Crazy.
I bet you everyone in that comp everyone that was playing comp in that must have been really, they must have had their Jimmy.
So tight. So tight.
But
so tight.
It was crazy because it's like I've never played such an intense game of Fortnite before, nor do I ever think I ever will again. But the one that I was in, we won. So
yeah. I guess we're legendary.
I imagine undefeated. If this had been streamed somewhere. I mean, considering it's a comp match,
so.
I bet you.
Dude!
God, I hope so.
There was people in there with like matching handles on their name. It was like HG Epic Man or some.
Oh my God.
Do you guys have any good footage from that or no?
I have. I think I have the full game that I have from like NVIDIA GeForce. Unfortunately, it doesn't have all the chat in it. It's me, so you'll hear a lot of me being like, "Nah, this isn't a scrim lobby," or
that's still good.
Or
still
at the very end, you'll hear me say, "How did I kill you?" Oh my God, I can't do this. I can't fucking do this. And then at the last kill, I just go, "Ah!" And,
oh, that's amazing. You should share that.
You should share. Honestly, that's good by itself. I feel like that's good by itself.
I'll find out how I could send it to you guys because it'll probably be a rather large file, but I'll send you both parts of what I got, and you guys can relive the glory. But speaking of online games, a very popular game just got an online mode.
Oh,
Chris,
yeah.
Care to tell us more?
Oh yeah. So the beta for Red Dead Redemption 2 just came out yesterday, November 27th, but that's only for people that got the Ultimate Edition, and I'm fiscally irresponsible, so I did that.
Physically or
and
fiscally?
Fiscally.
Okay.
I'm also physically irresponsible, but that's
There we go.
that's the story for the Responsibility podcast. But I am
this guy
fiscally,
gets it.
but I was fiscally irresponsible, so I bought it. So I had access to the beta on day 1. I played a couple hours of it, couple notes on it. I enjoyed it. The world is huge, larger than the actual main single player map, without giving any spoilers. So that's
it's
really
not
cool.
the same. It's not the same map as the.
It has the same map in it, but it is larger than the main single player map.
Oh, so that's different from GTA
That's really
5.
cool.
It is cool. I was very happy to see that was a thing. The world, one thing that's different from GTA 5 is that the world is just as pretty online as it is in single player, because they had to back off the graphics in GTA Online to get the multiplayer to work right. This one, no. It's still fucking gorgeous. So it's really awesome to be in that world that you were in with single player with everyone else in it. They still have the honor system in online, which is really cool. I don't know how it kind of fits in yet completely. I don't know how it really works within the online system, but it seems like it carries over from the single player game. Your honor from single player carries over onto online, which is very interesting, because I started at the same exact honor level that I had in online. I mean, with single player, which is cool. Couple of negatives. It's really similar to GTA Online. Sometimes it seems like it's just a skin. For example, in GTA Online, you can go to Los Santos Customs and sell cars. In this game, you can go to a shed and sell horses. So it's just like,
wait.
I mean?
Can you insure your horses too?
Yeah, you can.
Is that how that goes?
Oh my god!
You can insure your goddamn horses.
So if you kill a horse, if someone else kills your horse, they'll have to pay to reg your horse.
So I have just a general question about this, and I think it's also kind of a question about GTA Online. But what's the like main focus of doing the online? Is it like character progression, or is it like making a lot of money, or is there some other goal?
As far as GTA Online is concerned, from what I understand, it's mostly just about making as much money as you can so you can buy all the coolest shit.
Yeah,
Chris.
That's pretty much what it is. And like you can upgrade your character stats, and like your stamina and your health and stuff like that. And you can also upgrade your character, which is cool. There's like an actual upgrading system in this online game where you can upgrade your Deadeye, which is cool. And you can personalize your stats as well. So like your abilities or stats, it's very low level, but you can be slightly different than other players in the game, which is cool.
But this has me thinking, now that you brought that up, now that I'm actually thinking about the comparisons. Now, I think about GTA Online and I think, oh yeah, there's a whole shit ton of things I need to get, like getting my own like private yacht and all this stuff, and it costs a shit ton of money, and that's why I do heists. But what does Red Dead Redemption offer for the currency that you earn?
Shekels?
No, it's regular like US dollars, but then they also have like this gold bar system, which I'm guessing is going to be like the bars or the things that you can actually buy in game, buy with microtransactions. I've looked around, I couldn't really find the microtransactions page, but that's my guess, because you don't really find many gold bars. It's different.
I would only imagine, yeah.
Guns and everything are really overpriced, just like in GTA Online. So you could buy a revolver for like $200 in the single player, which was definitely expensive for the time, but didn't feel too expensive in game. Now, some of the same guns that you got for a couple $100s in the single player mode are thousands of dollars in the online mode, which is stupid. It's really dumb.
I mean, it's all to push the player to pay money for it. I mean, that's
exactly
the GTA Online system.
Exactly. And like, I didn't care with GTA Online. I know a lot of people did, but I'm, again, fiscally irresponsible. So I didn't care that much. Now I'm starting to care. So that bothers me. And then last thing that kind of bothers me is that there's no good way to get across the map really super fast without having to fast travel some way. Because, and you can't fast travel anywhere. You can fast travel to like regions. So horse riding is still going to take a lot of time with this game. But I think that if you approach it differently than GTA Online, you will enjoy it. If you approach it more like you did Red Dead, the single player, and like take your time and kind of chill out and don't try to kill everyone all day, every day, then I think it'll be fun.
So now that you finished the single player though, is the online, do you foresee it being something that'll like keep you in the game, or is it just, couple good hours and then it kind of drops off?
I want to see what it has to offer when I can get a bunch of people in a posse. I'm not gonna judge that yet
After you
because
rob your first train.
yeah, exactly. Stuff like that, which I haven't done yet, I think could be really fun. And
You definitely, yeah. No, go ahead.
doing missions together, I think will be really fun. So I'll wait on judgment until everyone can play it. I think after we do this podcast, I'm actually gonna get on it with a few people. So yeah,
Nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say check back in with us. Once you get more, more of an experience at playing as a group.
But
That'd be interesting to hear.
no doubt.
let me ask you about it real quick.
Mhm.
Do you think it's Game of the Year worthy?
Like the single player?
Yeah, the single player, not the online.
Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yeah?
I see 100%. I see a lot of people saying that it gets boring towards the end and like all this stuff, like, but I think the beauty about that game is that it's a game that you're not supposed to play sitting down 60, 70, 80 hours straight to beat it. It's not. It's a game that you need to I was making this comparison yesterday. It's like a fine whiskey, that game. Like you don't take shots of like Johnny Walker Blue Label. Like you sit
Right.
it and it's amazing. And this game is the Johnny Walker Blue Label, the Macallan's 15, like the top shelf whiskey of video games. And it 100% deserves game of the year.
The beautiful
100%.
metaphor.
Yeah, 100%. The ending of the game really ties everything you did in the game together in like an incredible way. So, yeah.
Would you say the campaign is about as long as GTA 5's?
Longer. It took me 80
Longer.
hours.
80 hours. That's
wow.
RPG level right there.
Mhm.
Okay. That's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
You were playing at a decent pace, though, I suppose.
Yeah, I didn't do all of the. I didn't
blasting
do
through
every
it.
single one of the. Yeah, I didn't do all of the side quests, but I did a lot of them. So 80 hours, give or take, but 100% worth it. Game of the year.
The year's really ending on a high note. So many
It
big
is.
games coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, Red Dead seems like, I haven't played it, and I agree with you. It's probably Game of the Year. That thing just seems like so massive that can't really ignore it.
Yeah.
But,
Talking about Game of the Year, what are the nominees for Game of the Year this year?
Well,
so-
for the Game Awards show. that we're
Yeah, for the
talking
Game
about, right?
Awards show. Yeah.
So we got Assassin's Creed Odyssey,
Okay.
Celeste, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, Monster Hunter: World, and Red Dead Redemption 2. So for
Cool.
anyone wondering, the Game Awards are next week, December 6th, I think, is when they announce everything. But the voting is currently open. But those are the nominees.
Those are a lot of good names in
So-
there.
Chris just told us what he thought about Red Dead, and
Mhm.
Mark also thinks that it's going to be Game of the Year. But on this list of nominees, what do you think could give it a run for its money?
Oh, I think
I mean, there
God
were
of
a
War can
Go for it.
100%. I think that was it. I think it just kind of is not in people's memory anymore because it came out quite a while ago.
Yeah.
But that thing is so different from the other God of War games, and the story is really, really good, and it's very cinematic. I don't know if you guys remember this, but there was the whole thing around when it was coming out about how it's all basically quote unquote like in one take, meaning
Yeah.
that the camera doesn't
heard
like
about that.
cut as if it's a movie where the film doesn't cut or anything, which actually seems like okay, that's cute, but it's actually really nice like kind of storytelling. I think it works really well. And surprisingly, you having this little your son following you around everywhere and like AI controlled, he functions surprisingly well for like an AI partner. I think that one is definitely at least on the short list for game of the year when it comes to this group.
That's impressive. I mean, I completely forgot about that. Now that you bring it up, now that you mention it, the whole thing about one single shot, and footprints in the snow. There's a lot of things that were very impressive about God of War, and I really wonder if a lot of people that are voting in this poll don't just vote simply out of what was most recent in their memory, which would be very unfortunate if that were the case. But
I think
what other of these have we played?
Before we move on to that, I just want to say that in terms of, I feel like a lot of the people that won't vote for Red Dead Redemption and will vote for God of War over it are, I mean, maybe this is my personal opinion, but Red Dead is so long and can be so slow that people might not have been able to finish the whole thing.
Right.
And if you don't finish the whole thing, I don't think you would put it up at Game of the Year contention. Like you need to play the whole game to really understand the game. Anyway,
that's like the inverse argument, the inverse point of like what like the last point that I made, because it's so recent. How many people have actually played it to its completion?
It's true.
To actually appreciate it. So.
Coming out right now, I mean, it works in its favor, but for something like this, it doesn't really play in its favor.
Also in its detriment. Yeah,
but I would say out of this category, I mean, the competition is likely just between God of War and Red Dead Redemption, because
100%.
Monster Hunter World, I mean, I never actually bought the game. I played the beta and it just never hooked me, but like it just didn't seem, even at the game's release, that it was ever really like, whoa, Monster Hunter World is out, like everyone jump on that real quick.
Yeah, I don't think it's got that like I don't think it has the same kind of spark that those other games do. I think that maybe if there's another one that could be in contention, it would be Spider-Man. I haven't played it. I just know that the response to it was very, very good.
Yeah.
Yep. Agree. That's what I was going to bring up. The response
I don't
to
even
Spider-Man
remember Assassin's Creed Odyssey coming out, if I'm honest. I don't even remember. So I was surprised to even see it.
They rapid fire released those Assassin's games. So you can't be blamed for not even noticing, because there's always a new one coming out.
And I see Celeste on this list, and I know that's a very good indie. I'm just surprised by the fact that A, it's in Game of the Year category, and B, that it's just in general in a lot of categories. I wish I knew more about the game. I should have probably seen it.
A friend of mine has been trying to convince me to buy it for a little while, but I haven't yet. So I don't know. But I don't know. I think that for what it's worth, it did get a lot of good reviews. However, I must say I have a bone to pick with this list, because Dead Cells isn't on it.
You think you have a bone to pick with this list? I have a bone to pick with the Game Awards in general for shafting my favorite game because it was outside of the damn release window.
Boo!
Xenoblade Chronicles 2 didn't make it because it was released in December 2017, so it didn't reach the cutoff.
You know what? That's total horseshit, because especially you put like 100 hours into that game. Like, I think it came out in like the last week of December too, and it's like, how is anyone expected to finish that game with enough time for it to be considered for a Game of the Year nominee?
Yep, that's what makes me feel suckered about it.
That's a bummer.
And that's exactly why I don't have much to say about Game of the Year, because that would have been mine. But beggars can't be choosers.
So I think either between God of War and Red Dead Redemption, I think it's a well-deserved award, and I would not be disappointed if
either direction
beat out the other.
Agreed. Do we want to go through some more of these categories?
Heck yeah, we do, because we're going to go on to the best ongoing game.
Yep.
You're not going to say it, are you?
This has some interesting games.
And by ongoing game, I think what they mean is like games that are being actively supported by the developer, that are multiplayer.
Right. Games. Yeah, exactly. Now, I'm personally biased in this category for one of the games.
Destiny 2, right?
No,
76, right?
Yeah, Fallout 76. It's going to be supported for 3 years. But the nominees are Destiny 2 Forsaken, Fortnite, No Man's Sky,
Oh my god.
Overwatch, and Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege. And even though I don't play a lot of it, I'm biased towards Overwatch because the game is great and I love all the characters in it. But I have a sneaky suspicion it'll
Fortnite.
probably go to either Fortnite or Destiny 2.
I bet you it's probably Fork Knife. Everyone votes
Yeah.
for Fork Knife. It's
They
how it always is,
update
though, right?
that thing and they add new stuff in that game so fast that you can't even keep up with it if you even if you try. I think sometimes there's just so much going on that they change that you don't even notice it sometimes. So
It's like some
I would probably say that's got my vote too. Even though I do probably think that the game itself, I think I probably enjoy Overwatch a little bit more. But Fortnite's definitely getting the best support.
You know, I don't disagree with you there. And I respect Fortnite for what it is. I feel like you're probably going to get the most votes simply because it's just massively popular. You're just going to get by sheer numbers. You know what I mean?
It will 100% get the most votes.
Yeah.
For sure.
I'm surprised No Man's Sky is on here.
That's
Wait, No Man's Sky is on this list.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
that
surprised
is
it is.
on this list. What I said is I'm surprised it's on this list.
Huh, my
Was
ears work great.
Was the whole, redemption No Man's Sky? I don't know my timeline anymore. 2018's been a weird year, but did that happen this year that they fixed everything, or was that last year?
Next came out this year.
Oh wow, so
which
it
is,
was
like,
this year.
They've been rolling out like updates pretty consistently for like the last year.
It feels like a year ago.
Yeah, they've completely changed everything. And
Yeah,
still
people
not
say
my
it's a
cup
good
of
game.
tea, but a lot of people really, really like it now. And they're supposed to be putting, I don't know if they did it already, but there's supposed to be an underwater, like an underwater overhaul where you can build underwater and like more variability underwater and stuff like that. So I'm gonna check it out again soon, and I'll give you my thoughts on it. But yeah, it has a good following right now, it makes me happy, even though Sean Murray's a dickhead for doing what he did.
And you were really excited
yeah.
about this game going into it. I think we've said this story before, but I mean, like you were really into it, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah,
it didn't live up to expectations.
I'm happy for them. I am.
That's good.
Yeah.
And Overwatch, of course, as Mark said, biased towards it. And I share that bias as well because I love Overwatch and their lore. If you ever look at my wall, you'll see all the posters of Overwatch I have on it. But
and I'll just say I have a lot of Overwatch posters that aren't on my walls because I don't have wall space.
Hey, put them on your ceiling. Put them on your ceiling. That would be fantastic.
Like those glow in the dark stars you used to put on the ceiling. Just get a bunch of glow in the dark Overwatch people.
But then, considering how Overwatch has developed this past year, you had the introduction of Ash and Bob. Was there another hero this year, or was it just
Brigitte was also this year.
She's QT, and she's
and Wrecking Ball. They came out with a lot.
And Wrecking Ball. Holy shit!
Yeah, there was I think 3 characters. I mean, they've been putting out maps and different modes and all this crap. Like there's a bunch of maps that when I went back to playing Overwatch, I was like, I don't remember any of these. And let's also not forget that their digital shorts are
10
fantastic.
out of 10. Lit out of 10. I agree.
Definitely 5 out of 7.
It's funny. They bring Brigitte in, and they also nerf her in the same year as well. Did you hear about the nerf that she got? Her shield bash is like practically no damage anymore. You remember how Brigitte started out? They had a 3-hit combo. It doesn't exist anymore.
Well, that's lame.
Bummer.
Because there's enough heroes in that game that you could counter that, but I guess not.
Quick question. How come Hearthstone isn't in this list?
That is a very
they only
good
be bothered
question.
to put one Blizzard game in this list? I don't like it.
And you know what? If we're gonna get picky too, it's like you put Destiny 2 ... Forsaken. Forsaken is DLC. Forsaken is DLC. Destiny 2 is the game. So no, I'm not gonna vote for Destiny 2 ... Forsaken. Go fuck yourself.
That's essentially saying the rest of this game is shit, but there's this one part that's good that you should vote for.
Yep.
Also, I don't I can't really, and as much as we play Fortnite, I don't think Fortnite belongs in this category because, like, I get that there's the battle pass and there's technically content that they're adding to the game, and the support that they give the game is great, but like, you don't get the same level of content in Fortnite that you get in Overwatch or Destiny 2. I don't know.
Unless you pay for the skins.
Yeah.
Yeah, pay for all the skins.
That's content, right?
Content can be defined.
That's
in
how
many
they're
ways.
marketing it to us, it would seem.
Fiscal
people are
responsibility.
falling
It's a feature, all right? It's not a part of the game. It's not a, extra.
Hey,
But
it sells consoles.
Yeah.
so
What are
let's take a final vote on that one. What do we want to win? Is the real
What do
question.
we want to win? I want Overwatch to win.
I would like Overwatch to win as well.
Yeah, I'd be happy if Overwatch won, or I understand Fortnite too, so I'd be fine with that. I think that
Okay.
Destiny and honorable mention probably to Rainbow Six Siege because that game's been out for a couple of years and I periodically hear about it and I'm sure they're doing a great job. I just have never played it.
Yeah, same.
It's impressive the fact that they're still on here now. Yeah, it's true. Yeah, Chris.
I want the underdog to win. I want No Man's Sky to win.
All right.
Hey, that's all good. It's all good.
Biggest upset 2018. No man.
No. Second biggest update. I mean upset. First one is Fallout 76. Continue. What's the next topic? Not next topic. Next category that we got.
So there's best score / music presented by Spotify, or we could do best art design, I guess.
You want to touch on that because your favorite game's in there.
All right.
Let's do both of them quick.
So for best art direction, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, God of War, Octopath Traveler, Red Dead Redemption, Return of the Obra Dinn.
Well, for the first, I just want to point out I've never heard of the last one.
I only heard about it very recently.
Yeah, I've heard. I know a little bit about it. I can briefly explain it. It's like a big puzzle game where.
What's it called again?
Return of the Obra Dinn. Obra Dinn.
Okay.
Yeah. So it takes place on this ship, where you're investigating. I think everyone on the ship died. And the whole game is you kind of investigating who died and how. But it's just basically this huge puzzle that you need to solve where you need to get evidence and put a bunch of pieces together. I think
it's a mystery game.
I remember hearing about it on another pod where they kind of described it as like a big Rubik's Cube that you have to solve.
Yeah. I think there's like time, sort of like time traveling in it and to weave the story together, and it sounds very complex.
Yeah, the art style is very cool though. It's like I don't know, it looks like a old like Mac computer, like Macintosh,
like an old pixel display. I see it. I'm looking at it on the Game Awards.
Looks like Papers, Please.
Yes, it's just piquing my curiosity. I know what you guys are going to talk about in this category, but
God of War I know looks great, but if we're going for outstanding creative and/or technical achievement in artistic design and animation, I say look no further than Octopath Traveler for the win.
I've never played
design. What are you talking about? They're all 8-bit sprites propped up into 3D. Har 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 har, as people would try to criticize.
I mean,
that's what's beautiful about it.
I've never played it.
It's such a cool idea.
Mark's, you're gonna have to give Chris a bit of the backstory about Octopath Traveler here.
Okay, yeah, I'll do. So Octopath Traveler is a Switch game. It's a Square Enix game. It's like an old school JRPG basically. So think of like old Final Fantasy games with like a little bit more modern stuff in it. But if we're talking about art style, the thing that's really cool about this is that it's got, I guess it's probably like what 16-bit or something.
It's
something like that, right?
So,
16-bit graphics, but it's all kind of like in the like displayed in a 3D space, almost like like those old picture books, like the pop-up books where you'd open the page and everything kind of stands up. It looks like that when you get it.
I'm looking at this. You know what this game looks like? It looks like this game fucking Gaia that came out on the SNES.
You know Gaia. Very nice.
I do know Gaia. I had Gaia. It looks very much like Gaia.
Yeah,
it's pretty much the same graphics, but it's propped up in the.
What I think,
very cool.
Is so cool about it is just the way that they were able to like design the world in such a way that as you move through it, you're able to see like from a different perspective, a different path that maybe you didn't see when you were looking at it from, say, like the right, but then you walk to the left of it and then you see like a cave down below. And it's just, I think stunning.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these now. It's beautiful.
Another cool thing, so there's a lot of boss fights in it, and you have these like small 16-bit characters like the way that you'd imagine them from an old school JRPG, but all of the bosses are like these gigantic, huge, like detailed models. And it looks hilarious sometimes because you're a human and you might be fighting another human, but they're like 5 times the size of you. And it sounds funny when you say it, but when you see it in the game, it's like it's just like very striking. And I'm really, really into it.
And it really gives you the feel that you're fighting like, you know, a boss. You know, it adds a little bit to the atmosphere of the game that you're actually in an important fight.
That's really cool. I gotta buy that. That's really cool.
Octopath wins. Yeah.
Yeah, I think definitely.
The other games are like really, really well done. Like
they're what you would expect out of a AAA.
Yeah, but like we've seen all that kind of character design, I think, already.
Yeah. We've seen characters in 3D space. What we haven't seen is 2D characters in a 3D space.
Yeah, it's really
2.5D,
cool.
if you will.
Yes.
Great. Any other category about from the Game Awards?
Yeah, Mark. Did you want to bring up one more? Mark with a K.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch. We could.
Well, there's a. I mean,
we could rapid fire through some real quick. I mean, if that. Since Octopath won Best Art, it should also win Best Score because I listen to that shit on repeat all the time. And look no further than the battle themes of that game to get you hype.
I disagree. I mean, I've never listened to them, but I will say one thing: the music, all of it is original in Red Dead Redemption 2, and there's like almost 100 original full-length tracks that they recorded for this game, and they're all beautiful. So
can't discount the idea of having a large
songs with like Old West like songs with lyrics, or are they like
they have lyrics. Some of them have lyrics, some of them are just instrumental, but they're all scores.
That's pretty cool.
Done by the sound engineers there. Really, 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 really good. So out of games that I've played, I would say Red Dead.
All right. So we're split down the middle on that one. But let's skip over a little bit. And go
indies?
Indie games?
Games.
Go to indies because I know Mark plays a lot of indie games.
Yeah, all right. I'll do this category. So best independent game nominees are Celeste, Dead Cells, Into the Breach, Return of the Obra, and The Messenger. So
Mark, with you played 2 of those.
Yes, and for me, Dead Cells and Into the Breach are both great games. I'd still play both of them. However, I played Dead Cells for over 100 hours, every fucking second of it. So that one wins for me. Not to say that Into the Breach isn't great in its own way, but I think Dead Cells just takes it.
Okay. Cool.
Agreed.
What about esports?
So
well, we bring this. Oh, Mark, you go. You got it. You got this.
Oh no, Rob, I like hearing the sound of your voice. Please.
Someone fucking go. God damn.
Well, look, I know we brought this up because out of the esports events that we have here, well, what are we talking about? The esports team or the event themselves?
Well, we could knock out 4 categories right here. Overwatch is the best esports game.
Okay.
The best esports player is Jay Jonak from New York Excelsior.
That I second.
Gotta represent
the Overwatch League. The best esports team is the London Spitfire because LOL is LOL. And
then you have the best esports event.
That brings us to the best esports event. And the reason why we're bringing this one up is because Mark C, myself, and Cookie over the summer went to the Overwatch League Grand Finals in the Barclays Center, and it was fucking awesome.
That was a massive spectacle. I will say, I didn't expect much going into it. I didn't expect a lot to, actually enjoy out of watching people play a video game in front of a bunch of people. But seeing how the presenters were able to, shoutcast the whole thing really gave it a lot of spirit. It was pretty awesome. I do have to say.
The Barclays Center was sold out for 2 straight days.
That's amazing.
Of Overwatch play, and the crowd was bananas. It was amazing. I've never
a lot of people didn't like
such energy. A lot of people didn't what?
They didn't like the Spitfire whenever they, because they were the underdogs, right?
Oh,
who was the other team?
Well,
the Philadelphia Fusion was was the underdog.
So that's the thing, though. There was a lot of actual Philadelphians there because proximity to New York City. So like there were more fans of that team, and they were the ones who lost.
Oh, right.
So very intense because of that. And also, Philadelphia sports fans are known for being
rowdy and unsavory characters.
Oh, yeah.
And that certainly showed here, too. Yeah. They weren't exactly very supportive of whatever.
Yeah, at the very end, when Spitfire won, there was a row of people who were Philadelphia Fusion fans on the other side of the stadium. And they were all wearing those stupid dog masks that the Philadelphia Eagles were wearing when they went to the Super Bowl, and just watching them sulk there and
that was cathartic.
Sadly walk out of the stadium was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
They had that coming, just saying. Being like that, but yeah, that was pretty impressive.
And with that being said, it was hosted by Golden Boy, and Golden Boy is a G.
He did a great job.
And he's definitely best esports host, obviously.
All right, so
you know who wasn't though? DJ Khaled.
Oh yeah, DJ.
Another one.
Another one.
It was not. Yeah.
It was fun. It wasn't bad. It was just a little awkward.
Yeah.
A little is
okay. It was very awkward
because everyone there was just like, why is this guy here? And every 5 seconds he was just like, I got a new record out, go and buy it. Another
one.
No
sense.
Stupid. Really dumb. Well, hopefully they've learned from their mistakes.
Yeah, can I just top this off real quick?
Yes,
by
sir.
saying that the Game Awards are next Thursday, and I'm not saying we're gonna do it, but we could live react to some of the winners. If
I'm with it. What day is it?
For it, I'd be
Thursday?
so down. Next
what
Thursday.
Time?
Yeah.
Do you know the time?
Probably like 7 or 8 o'clock.
Yeah, as long as it matches up with when we're out of work, we should do like a live watch of it. That would be kind of fun.
Sweet.
We'll talk about it. Let's see what we can do about that.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Before we end, I'm just gonna plug. If you are following us on Twitter, we have a Twitter account at memory_slot_a, and follow us. It has links to all of our personal accounts, and yeah.
So does anyone have any final thoughts?
Buy Unravel 2.
All right.
Perfect. Absolutely perfect. And
on that note, that's going to do it for us on the Memory Slot A podcast. Now saving, don't turn off the power.